And we should be live. Let me check. It says we are. Awesome. All right, so I think we'll go ahead and get started now. Hello, everyone. Ace here, and today I am joined with Alpharius here.
Howdy.
And today we are going to be jumping once again into Star Wars The High Republic, issue number 15 in this case. And by the way, there's some good news. As far as I can tell, this is the last, when it comes to the comic books specifically that are dedicated to the High Republic era, this is the last one until the fall when Phase 2 drops. So we're not going to have... so I'm not counting Halcyon Legacy because that is multiple eras, but when it comes to stuff that is dedicated to High Republic, this is the last comic book issue until the fall. We still, of course, have the manga to cover if I am able to find a copy of it easily enough, but that's for another day, I think. Anyways, let's go ahead and read some of the comments here before we get started proper. Siege says, "Good day, Ace. Hope you're doing well today. Will I be reduced to a cackling lunatic, or have they raised the bar enough to be moderately competent? Find out on today's episode of Dragon Ball Z." Hello, Siege. It looks like the chat isn't really showing up for whatever reason on the stream itself, which is weird. It should be. Well, let's go ahead and get to it. The High Republic, Jedi's End. Chapter 5, The Fall. Avar Kriss triumphant. The hero of Hetzel has successfully captured the woman she believes is the Eye of the Nile. But as the Jedi return Lorna D to Starlight Beacon, a terrible explosion tears through the gleaming space station. With communications down and the beacon drifting dangerously close to planet Iram, the Marshal leads a rescue mission, leaving D in the hands of Jedi archivist Urbelin on board the Atraxia. But the stricken space station hides a terrible secret. The mysterious creatures that nearly cost Tarek and Keeve their lives on ZS now stalk Starlight's darkened corners. Okay, actually I'm going to have to check issue 14 just to make sure that we have actually covered that. Because I don't recall it actually ending. Okay, yeah, so they actually skipped ahead. They skipped ahead.
Competent writing. Competent directing.
Oh, wait, no, they didn't. I don't think they actually skipped ahead. No, they didn't. Okay, so they didn't skip ahead, but we do see Starlight Beacon taking damage. I have to actually wonder if I actually... Okay, maybe I'm missing something. Maybe it is... Maybe we should be doing issue 14, because I don't remember. Maybe I skipped one, so I'm gonna check real quick because. Sorry guys, I'm gonna check real quick. Winners King says Happy St. Patrick's Day. Aaron Gobra, Ireland forever. Fair enough. All right, so I'm gonna go check, make sure, just in case that we actually cover this because. That's a good sign, isn't it, ladies and gentlemen, when your comic book series is so forgettable that I've forgotten whether or not I even read an entire issue. And it's supposed to be a major plot twist as well. Part of me vaguely recalls it, but... Yeah, I did indeed read issue 14. Alright, sorry about the confusion there. But I might as well make sure to get this completely right, just in case. And yeah, alright, so, Siege, yeah, sorry about that, everyone. Anyways, so let's go ahead and now we can go ahead and jump into this. I think this is Keeve talking, so I'll voice her. It's happening again, just like on ZS. The emptiness, the fear, the monsters here on Starlight. Chicka, chicka, chicka. Feeding on us, draining us. This time, there's only one difference. Before, there was one of them. Now they are legion. Before they fed only on Tarek. Now they're feeding on all of us. Feeding on Avar, on Nuran, on me. Okay. Yeah, that is Skier there, so that's you voicing him.
Eve.
Scree! Can't be a lightsaber. It's too bright, too painful. The noises, the screams, all too much. I need to stop, to give in.
You need to move now.
Skier? You're Skier.
We haven't time for this, Keeve. I am scared them off, whatever they are. But they'll be back.
Alright, so I think you'll be voicing Avar there as well. Winter's King says, sadly, actual Ireland is ruled by the woke crowd. Fortunately, there are more Americans of Irish descent than Irish people. I mean, you're not wrong. You're very much not wrong on that. Siege says, oh, it's fine. I've lost track totally. Yeah, I know. Winter's King says, and Harry Potter monsters are officially in Star Wars. Why do we need Dementors? Pathetic. Siege says, forced Dementors? Yeah, it looks like it. Winter's King says, yes, literally forced Dementors. You were saying?
Well, I guess they wanted to make this a labor of love to their favorite property.
Well, it was until J.K. Rowling said some things that the woke crowd don't like, but...
Gear's right. We need to get to the hub. See if we can stop Starlight from drifting into the planet's atmosphere.
Avar?
I'm fine, Keeve. The Force spared me. If only it could have spared Noran Bakaranaka. Word.
She's
one with the Force, but you are alive, Keeve. Do you hear me? Those creatures aren't affecting me the same way they are you. I'll hold them back.
No, I can't leave you. I won't.
This is it, my former Padawan. The reason why the Force blessed me with my condition. But it is also not the end. We will see each other in.
Skier.
Go. This is the way it was always meant to be.
Chicka chicka chicka.
Is with me. Now and forever.
Chicka 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 chicka. Outside Starlight, the Atraxia. Or the Ataraxia, sorry. Oberländisches Gurnarmunshi. I have Starlight staff and Republic citizens on board. Please retract the boarding tube. Archivist, can you hear me?
I hear you, Gunral. I just can't believe what I'm seeing. Station, it's breaking in two. Maybe there's something I can do. Tracking the tube. Activating tractor beams.
Did you hear that? Everything is going to be all right.
Are you sure? I thought I heard something.
What? Ride the storm. I should have guessed. Orbalan, the Nile are free. I need you here.
Stand by, please.
They're not going to let me.
if I can use the Atraxius tractor beam to stabilize the beacon's superstructure. No, it's too late.
Shack. Boom. Headshot.
That was for Valo, you worthless ball of slime.
That's still her there, I think.
Oh, Markion. Is this you? Have you finally surpassed your father? I could send that accursed station on its way with a killing blow. One last shot.
Oberlin, there are too many of them. I need you beside me.
But would you thank me, or stick a vibro knife in my back at the first opportunity? I think we both know what the answer to that is.
Oberlin, come in! Come... Ah!
Let's see what this bubble of a ship can do.
Whoosh. So, just to clarify, this dude died to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Nile. 7 Nile took on a Jedi Master and won.
Well, he was probably trying to protect the civilians, too.
I mean, sure, but on the other hand, it's a Jedi Master taking on 7 dudes and losing to 7 dudes.
You got me. It counts. It doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense!
We're almost there.
Almost at the hub or the edge of Irem's atmosphere?
Both.
How is this place even staying together? The gravitational forces alone.
Sabar's grace.
Avar, what is it?
Gravitational forces have nothing on the living force, or those who wield it.
Crick.
Maru.
Marshal, you must get to an escape pod immediately. Is he?
Holding the beacon together. Same as always.
The spire has been evacuated. Everyone is safe. Not quite everyone, according to Casey. Marshal Tarek and Seret they're still in the healing chamber.
Go to them, Keeve. Get them to safety. He won't have to. Oh, whoops.
But Maru will never be able to hold it all on his own.
He won't have to. The song of the Force will lift us all.
I do as Avar says, climbing the stairs to the chamber, even as the spire itself starts to crumble. But I'm not afraid, because because of Avar, I can hear the song of every Jedi still alive on this station. Siege says, headshot, these Jedi are weak sauce. Yes, except for, of course, the holding the whole station together. But that's not too out there for a Jedi Master, but it is... I'll let that pass, I suppose. Siege says...
If that's what a Jedi Master could do, the one who was fighting those 7 dudes could just straight up split the ship in half, have them be sucked out, and put it back together with no problems.
Mm-hmm. I know. Some I know, some I don't. But for just a moment, all of us are one. The power of the Force surging through us, filling us with hope and purpose, with strength. And yet I can't ignore that small voice in the back of my mind. The voice that reminds me that for every Jedi sense within the song, there are those who are already gone.
Looks like the illustrators actually did their job.
Yeah, they actually seem to be doing their job on this particular one here. But for now, I must concentrate on the living. You're still here. Thank Criff. Of course, the tricky bit would be getting you to an escape pod before crack. Before that happens. Yeah! Hear the song, damn it. Hear the... who?
We have you, Kiev, Trennis. You will not die today.
None of us will die. They heard the song. It brought them back. But is it already too late? Marshal.
Song is broken.
The song served its purpose. You must leave.
Not without you, Estala. I'll take the strain. You take the escape pod.
You always were our shining light. And the light must be protected, come what may. Casey, now!
No, Daisy, don't!
Beep.
Casey, stop! We need to get to Maru.
May the force be with you, Marshal. Always!
Maru, no! I'm not leaving you.
I'll never forget the first time I met Alpharius, the day of Starlight's dedication ceremony. Whoosh! How could I? She was glorious. Reesh! The hero of Hetzel. Marshal of Starlight, best of the best.
By the light. The beacon.
She was everything I longed to be. Everything I thought I wasn't. The beacon is gone, Marshal.
Kiev, all those people. Maru, he saved me, Kiev. Said.
And now... Let me read some of the comments here from Siege. Holding the whole station and then his buddy can't take on 7 dudes. Their force powers are so inconsistent. Exactly. The Siege says, the song, lol. Ha ha ha, it's gone. Fantastic. Yep. I'm actually reminded of that one cutscene from Legend of Zelda Wand of Gamelon. You've killed me! Good. Now I have to step up. Now I have to be strong. Strong enough to find out what happened up there. To find out what those creatures were. Not for Avar, and not for Skier. Not even for me. We need to know for those who trusted us. For those we said we'd protect. For light and life. Never the end, only a beginning. That looks like a pretty clear end for the Starlight Beacon there.
Yeah.
And also is that only a beginning? Is that a promise or a threat?
That was it?
Apparently so. I'm actually surprised how short it was. That is...
Yeah.
That one we... Yeah, I know. That was a breeze. Wow. So, Star Wars, The High Republic returns this fall with Quest of the Jedi. Because, of course, it does.
It was probably so fast because we didn't have any bad art to make fun of.
Yeah, we didn't have much bad art to make fun of, nor did we really have any bad writing to make fun of too much. Aside from the Jedi Master losing to 7 dudes.
Honestly, I'd say this is the best High Republic issue.
Yeah, that is actually, I would have to agree with you. I If only the entire series were comparable to this in terms of writing. I mean, still you have that one bit of stupidity there from earlier on. But outside of that,
I didn't see too many problems, to be honest.
yeah.
That was pretty much it. And I'd say that's happened in more than a few non-Disney Star Wars stories. I gotta admit, I'm impressed.
I'm impressed as well. I'm actually going to have to say that, to their credit, this issue here, as well as the last issue of Eye of the Storm, ended on a comparative high note as far as High Republic lore is concerned. That's not saying it's very good, but it's definitely much better than what I was expecting. So,
Indeed.
I am pleasantly surprised, although I'm also now in the weird position of expecting the live stream to be longer than it actually is, and now having to, well, I don't know.
Yeah. Siege and Winter's King were the only dudes to comment.
To be fair, the stream just started, so
Yeah. Well, I guess we could go through the issue and go page by page and see what we liked or disliked about it.
yeah, why not?
We gotta get those 10 minutes in. We gotta get those midway ads.
Well, it's not really for that. It's for the sake of it at least being in a half hour long, because it would feel weird having a live stream this short, ending the entire High Republic until fall. I will say this: the artwork is definitely improved right away, and you can tell that.
Maybe this is what they were doing that whole time. Okay, that's why the artwork on the other comics were lagging.
Yeah, I will say this. It also even looks like there might be reflections or something. If you actually look on page 5, what might be reflections or whatever on Keeve's robes there. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be, but it's a detail, definitely.
Indeed.
Let's read some of the comments here. Siege says, yeah, it's certainly a surprise. Winter King says, yes, it was pretty funny that the best one is the one where everything blows up and everyone dies, lol. Yeah, but given just how the Jedi have been depicted from literally the very first issue of this comic, I think
they had it coming.
Yeah, yeah. Siege says, I swear this has never happened before. Yep.
Yeah, you never think you'd have a short stream when it comes to High Republic.
No, you never do. This is a pleasant surprise.
A surprise to be sure, but a most welcome one.
Mm-hmm. So far, I'm not noticing any particularly badly drawn panels in this either, so I am actually of the opinion that whoever drew this, if only the rest of the High Republic was drawn as well as this, and if only it was written if only even the weakest parts were written to this level, I would actually be willing to consider this to be an okay comic. But because of everything leading up to this, that's the biggest issue with this thing.
Guilt by association.
Not even really guilt by association. It's a case of this thing has to hold up to all the nonsense that has been built up through all the previous issues. And there's just simply not going to be any holding up all that nonsense.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's actually impressive how they actually decided now that we're on the very final issue until fall, how we're actually going to put in some effort. Compare this to, I think it was issue 11 or 12, where you got a sad face meme for some of the characters as their face. And, yeah.
I still can't believe it. The first High Republic comic was the first live stream I ever watched on this channel.
Yeah, it's amazing how much it actually this feels completely different from the early issues too.
Like, if this much effort was put into an entire series of comics, I mean, I'd honestly be interested.
Like, even if here's one that does actually have a little bit weaker artwork design, even on page 12. If you look in the background on Kiev on the second panel, her face kind of looks a little. Her face is missing detail on that a little bit, but even then they put in lighting and stuff to. So it doesn't actually look that bad, and it's also a distance shot as well. Compare this again to what we've been getting so far, and yeah. Siege says, I can agree with that. If it was this consistently across the series, it would be an okay read. If you ignore lore breaks, and that would be fine. Yeah, well, part of the problem with it has been the writing has led to the lore breaks. If you have good writing, then it's kind of difficult to create the lore breaks in the first place, because good writing in Star Wars kind of accounts for the existing lore. It kind of has to. Yeah, I'm not even really seeing any particularly badly drawn panels, so that is... I don't know if they just... I'm pretty sure what they... Now that it's on... It's like... You know what it is? It's like the kid that realizes they've got a big exam, and it's the final exam, they have to pass it or else. So they decide to... So they decide to study 5 a.m. when they go into class at 9 a.m.
That's literally everything at the very last possible minute.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is.
And you know what? It just works.
Yes, in this, well, at least with this issue, it just works.
Yeah.
Too bad they didn't do this for the rest of the issues, but I digress. Yeah.
I mean, none of the characters are annoying. They all seem reasonable for the situation. They all seem reasonably upset.
Yeah. Salon Lich says, oh, just looked at the notification. And believe it or not, the stream is pretty much already done because we actually end this. Salon, Siege says to Salon, it was a quickie. Yes, it was. There would be something to draw out of it besides memes. As it stands as a whole, though, it's got a whole lot of funk to get to this point. Yeah. The problem is the first 14 issues. But again, credit where credit is due. This is actually a legitimately decent issue. I do actually think, Alpharius, you are right. I think this is actually the best thing High Republic related so far. Someone said, yeah, but anyways, but yeah, this one is actually decent. The problem is it has to deal with issues 1 through 14. But this one right here is actually decent. It's with the one issue again being that Jedi Master that lost to 7 dudes. That's a big screw up. I will openly admit that. Solon Lich says, I see I missed a bit of this fantastic reading of a complete source of cringe. Siege says, what a wild ride. Yes, it is indeed. And I wish to get off Mr. Bones' wild ride. So I do think it's a good time. Is there any additional things you'd like to add to this, Alpharius?
I guess we could read the comments, but other than that,
Yeah, let's go ahead and do that. Gideon says, epic issue. Looking forward to the Quest of the Jedi, which will be 150 years before all of this. No Avar Chris for a while. See you. See you soon, my blonde Jedi waifu.
this is a certified Vine Boom moment. Which one is?
Avar Chris
Which one
was.
is Chris?
Avar Chris is the one that on page 22 is crying and is being held by Kiev. She's also the one that was hacking a dude to pieces while saying, and I quote, "for light and life." So it makes sense. So it makes sense that someone with a Count Dooku profile pic thinks she is his waifu.
Makes sense.
Also, apparently Quest of the Jedi is, if it is set 150 years before this, then maybe there's hope for that, because it might not necessarily be tied to this. And also, why are they even calling it High Republic at that point? Because that's a big...
We heard you like Old Republic, so we decided to make your Old Republic even older.
Except it's not. Old Republic was, what, 4,000 years before the...
You know what I meant. Like,
yeah, I know.
The old... Yeah. We don't talk about actually good stuff here. I mean, what do you take this for?
Yeah. But yeah, it's still kind of weird to name it High Republic, but well. Ben Wasserman says, to any surviving main characters of this High Republic storyline, come and give Avar a hug. She could easily use the therapy while we wait. Okay. I mean, this is kind of cringe.
Mildly cringe.
Yeah. Ben, you do realize these aren't actual individuals. These are just characters in a comic book series, right?
I mean, this lady chops people up. It's kind of her job.
Well. Dan Garcia says, what a thrilling conclusion. Really loved this series. With stellar art, with some rocky parts near the middle.
That's like... Calling that art rocky is like calling Gibraltar a pebble.
Yeah, yes it is. With a great narrative.
I'm sorry.
From the Dringier to the Nile's most terrible attack. I pity those who could not get into the High Republic, for they missed some truly phenomenal Star Wars adventures and characters. I knew there was going to be some ridiculous writing. I didn't realize that it was going to be coming from the comments alone.
Yeah.
But... oh dear. Adam Wolford says, I thought the Old Republic was 5,000... Okay, so maybe it was. I thought it was around 4,000 myself, but maybe you're right. But anyways, Siege says, raise your waifu standards. Is it just me, or... Never mind, I'm not going to get into that. Winners King says, what? They claim this is great narrative? Well, yes, by woke standards, this is great narrative. By woke standards. Which is why Get Woke, Go Broke is a thing. Siege is laughing. Winners King says, okay, that's it. Hans, get the flamethrower. Yes, indeed. Abbasoy Guardian says, GD, when Fallen Star said the Ataraxia left Starlight Beacon, I could never have imagined that it would be with Lorna D at the helm. William says, the answer you seek on what has happened, Lorna D does not lie with Mark Yanro. At least, not entirely. This has all been brought about by the will of the dark side. Even though it hasn't really been shown that Lorna... Is Lorna D a Force user? I didn't really think she was, but okay.
Lorna D the one that shot the dude?
Yes.
I mean, she's got the style of one, so...
Fair enough. Anonymous says, the contrast of how it started and how it ended The cover almost looked like a reverse before-after ad. What did they do to them? This man being a Jedi is suffering. You don't know true suffering until you've seriously tried to read High Republic. Howling Wolf Joey says, what a heavy and tragic end of the first phase, and now we have to wait 2 to 3 years until third and final phase to get the conclusion of the era. So they're expecting people to be hyped up for 2 to 3 years to get the conclusion of this arc. Okay. The sad part is we don't know if Skier is still alive in both Selangios and Maru dies in Starlight Beacon. And now Lucasfilm has to give us blue balls by giving us a prequel story to start the second phase in October. Anyways, guess that's it for the first phase. Thank you all for those who are still with us and actually enjoying this series. So presumably, this is someone that is actually involved in the writing. And then he says, for those who called the era woke SJW or the authors have no talent and a bunch of hacks, hello there! Please learn to judge based on the contents of the characters' authors and not what's on the outside or the cover of the books. Except I am judging it based on the contents of the characters and authors. The contents of the characters and authors are pure cancer. Howling Wolf Joey. The problem is not the cover of the books. I wish the problem was the cover of the books.
Me too.
Save that for the Rings of Power. That is woke trash, but I do hope Skier is alive. So at least this person isn't...
Has some standards.
Yeah.
It seems their Star Wars love has blinded them, however.
Yeah. Anonymous says, you forgot Orbelin. I'm reading Rising Storm right now during his kick-ass moment. Yeah, we are really late to publish them in France, and man, that hurt me to see that. P.S. Come on, that ending message. Do you realize you're exactly doing what you didn't want people to do about the High Republic? Let us at least wait for the release before calling the Rings of Power trash. Ironic, this person is actually chewing this dude out for complaining about Rings of Power and being a hypocrite, which technically he is. At least I'm willing to say that Rings of Power... At least I'm willing to actually have a look at Rings of Power before completely calling it trash, but it doesn't look good so far from the trailer, I will say that. Howling says, I said those who are in the Fall of the Starlight Beacon, not outside of it. I've never seen or read Lord of the Rings. We can tell. However, those who are two different cases, I've seen many proofs of how the Amazon version diverges and retcons the lore. But you haven't read Lord of the Rings, so where are you getting this information from, dude?
Probably just some random video they saw on their YouTube feed. Man, that show's looking so bad. Even the normies are starting to think, hey, wait a minute, this don't look too good, Chief.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
Matthias says, the movies also diverge a lot from the books. People bitched about it before release, and now they're praised as the masterpieces they are. Just saying.
No, the people who hated the movies back then still hate them.
Yeah, that is true.
They're fine movies, but awful adaptations.
Alright, the Rings of Power just blatantly confirmed that they're not adapting some Silmarillion books and instead rely on their own interpolation while disrespecting the history of the lore and source material, making it a fanfic. And this person has the goal to defend High Republic. I'm just going to mention that. And Marthia says, how can you claim that without even watching it? It's like, okay. So this is a debate here.
Without watching it?
Huh?
Then why is he defending it without watching it?
That too. Sarah is crying, apparently. Galen says, looking forward to the next step of the story, even if it is a step back in time. I'm absolutely sure that part 3 of the series will be a continuation with these characters. You know, that actually makes me wonder if there is going to be a continuation with these characters. It might... Disney might have actually had to deal with such a massive screw-up that they might decide to completely abandon the story arc altogether. Because only Phase 2 has really been confirmed, as far as I can tell. Phase 3 might be coming out, but it hasn't really been confirmed yet.
If all the comics in Phase 2 are like this one, I'm sure there'll be a Phase 3.
But it'll probably be in the Phase 2 arc rather than the Phase 1 arc. Swordsman says, hello, bros. Hello? We're actually already done with the stream, and I'm just reading some of the comments here on this thing here.
Yeah, this one was a quick one, and it's probably the best High Republic.
Yeah, it's probably the best one. Matthew says, anyone knows where I can find The Edge of Balance? First volume is on Library Genesis. Okay. So apparently we can actually find we can actually read Edge of Balance thanks to this guy telling us which website has it. Interesting.
Neat.
I guess we know what the next live stream is probably going to be.
A fine addition to your collection.
Indeed, it will be. Later says, I've been looking for that phrase. Okay. Dan Garcia says, keep me posted too, buddy. Okay. All right, so let's see here. This individual here, whose name I can't even really pronounce, says, so it just starts getting good and away from such a woke start, even though I cannot stand that girl's stupid haircut, and now we have to wait through the summer for the next one, and it won't even be about what comes next. There is a man named Brandon Sanderson who just announced 5 full novels he did in his spare time, but with very few Star Wars books coming this year, all with different authors in the comics. How can we get more of this story told? This person wants more of it now that it's actually starting, now that they actually had one single decent issue.
I mean, if it has the potential to be like this, then sure.
Yeah, I'll give Phase 3 a shot if either way, I guess, if it does come out. Heck, I'll even give Phase 2 a shot just in case. But Phase 1 is going to be getting its own separate review. Either after I've read Edge of Balance or after this. I'm thinking it over. Kidney says, I'm not crying, you're crying. I heard about the Maru in book. Had a bad feeling, but to actually watch it go down, rip to the MVP of Starlight, the one who always kept it together, just like Avar said, and rip Nuran and Gunral and possibly Uberlin, and scare into anyone else who is missing. Please, I can't handle this. At least the twins are safe. Kiev really stepped up here, and I'm so proud of her. She's going to be the Jedi's next shining star of the future. She's amazing. She's alright, I suppose. I wouldn't really... What do you think? Is she amazing, Alpharius?
I have no strong feelings one way or the other.
Yeah. Matthew says, I think this is one of the lost 20 from Dooku Jedi Lost, but she is indeed awesome. And Kidney says, yep, but that's just going to make it even more sad because we're going to see her rise to greatness knowing that it's all going to end someday. Meh. The one person who... Yes.
Well?
Alright, so I'll finish off reading the comments from my chat. Siege says, it's an older code, sir, but it still checks out. Swordsman says, I got my PC now, so I got 3 Stalker games and Arma 2 and its DLCs. Nice! Very nice. Congrats on the new PC, yeah. That is very true. Congrats. Swordman says it runs Stalker perfectly, which is a miracle given it's Stalker, and I know how the coding can be on that game sometimes.
At least it's not source spaghetti.
Yeah. Swordsman says, I'm going to try and stream this weekend. Siege says, yes, Queen. All right. So, we've been at it for just over just under 3/4 of an hour. Is there any other thoughts you have on this, Alpharius?
I hope they keep it. I hope they keep the rest of the series at around this quality or above.
Yes. Yes, that's what I hope as well. Whether or not it'll actually happen is another question, or it's a case where we'll basically have to wait and see. But I will check out Phase 2 and see how that is, and I'm gonna go ahead and look for the Edge of Balance manga so we can see just how good or bad that is and where it falls as far as the High Republic stuff. And once that's done, I can officially say that I have read all the comics and manga that are set in the High Republic. But yeah, I think that's a good. I think this is a good time to go ahead and call it. So this has been Ace,
And Alpharius.
and we both hope